Have you ever thought about giving your kids the Culture Index platform and kind of seeing where they come out on those charts?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I've given it all to them.
Oh, really?
I give my wife, my kids, friends, and the reason being is, understanding how people's cognitive behaviors and how their brain works.
Mm-hmm.
And with Culture Index, you understand if someone thinks emotionally, thinks logically, you understand what's their dominant trait. Is their dominant trait socialization? Is it entrepreneurialism? Is it detail-oriented type of person? How do they think? And therefore, once you understand how someone thinks, then you understand how you need to communicate with them. So it all works in tandem. So different people that have different attributes that are, they're basically overbearing personality trait, they're going to speak differently than me. So I am what is in Culture Index known as a philosopher. So I am very highly driven, futuristic thinking, goal oriented, but I lack the ability to implement things and take them all the way through. So that's a weakness of mine. So when I compare myself with someone like that, I'm the stronger person. So knowing my weaknesses and my strengths helps me to align myself with the better people. And then when I'm speaking to a person like that, when I talk to them about goals, future thinking, they don't think like that. They think in, more here and now terms. And how do I solve this problem that's right in front of me? They're not thinking 5 steps ahead. I can't analyze the problem in depth. I get bored. I'm too busy thinking about all the things down the road. How do I get there? So, a portion of my life, I didn't understand that until you understand those things about yourself, you're missing out. I was with my family, with my business, always thinking about future only, never satisfied with what's going on now. So when you bring up Strategic Coach and Ben Hardy, there's a book called The Gap in the Game. So you have to realize, and now what I find myself doing once I'm kind of realizing these things, I still am constantly thinking about how am I going to get to these future things? How am I going to reach these goals? These goals, I set enormous goals because I want to force myself to achieve them. I know I can achieve them if I just put them out there and give myself a roadmap. I'm sure I can achieve whatever I put my mind to. But I have now added in, hey, be thankful for where you are now. Be thankful for what you've achieved. So I now do this. I look back a quarter. What have I achieved over the last quarter? How much better am I now than I was back then? It's amazing how quickly things are evolving and how quickly I am making a difference with the things that I'm doing in the new practices that I'm putting into place, the new people I bring along, and the more knowledgeable I am. And that actually fuels me more to thinking that I can achieve these long-term goals. And I'm never thinking I'm not good enough. I'm comparing myself to others, how quickly they're going and what they're doing. That's kind of gone out the window once I can go and look at what I'm achieving. And I know I'm on a path to success, but it's my own path. But I want to compare myself against other people's paths. And, I want to be proud of myself for what I'm doing instead of always feeling like I'm selling myself short. I haven't achieved enough, and focusing with my family on here and now, not, let me get a vacation home for my family. That's going to be great. Let's go be in a vacation home every weekend. No, let me go spend time with my kids right now. Because right now is the things that I'm going to make memories with. All these things in the future, great if I get them. If I don't, I really don't care. I want to value the here and now with my kids. And I feel like I was a good father, from when my kids were young. I'm definitely a present father. I'm involved in my kids' lives. But I do think that over the last 2 years, I have really transferred to more making it, hey, I'm going to spend time with each kid individually, set aside time. I don't watch TV anymore. The easiest thing to eliminate in life is television. You can eliminate television. You would be amazed how much more time you have when you get home from work to spend individual time with each kid. And so whenever I go to the grocery store, I invite my kids. So sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. Then I'll go spend one time, let's just play a board game with a kid. You would be amazed how excited a kid is to play board games or charades and just spend that quality time. Or just going on a ride with me to the grocery store, walking around, chatting one-on-one with your kids. It doesn't have to be a big event or anything like that. Now, we do try and set aside once a quarter events, but you're just taking that time to be aware. Don't have a phone in front of your face. Give them full attention, right? And engage with them. So they don't have a phone. You don't have a phone. You're looking at each other. You're engaged. You're having great conversation. Those things are lost these days with all this technology. So when you do that, you start building some great memories. It doesn't have to be anything special.
Yeah. It's funny, when we were up at the Fan Abundance trip, one of the things I asked my oldest especially, said, I asked both of them. I asked my 9-month-old, but she didn't respond, so I don't know why, but I'll ask her again later. But I asked both the kids, I said, hey, what can daddy do to be what can I do to be a better dad? Like, what is it that I can do? And my oldest said, I just wished maybe like you could come out of your office in the middle of the day for like just like 20 minutes and just spend time with us. And I was like, all right, bud, let's put it in the calendar. So 3 days a week, I put in a half an hour. And shortly before this call, I was doing our half an hour. And, our au pair has just come back yesterday from a vacation. She took some time off and went back to see her family in Brazil. And she just came back. And then we were telling her about this new thing that we started doing a couple weeks ago, and Adam was so excited to talk about it. Yeah, the first time we went in the backyard and we flew my remote control airplane. And the next time we did, and he just rattled off all the different things that we did. And all it was is just a half an hour break from what I was doing in the middle of the day to go and spend time with them. And so, like, to your point, like, it didn't have to be anything exciting or extravagant or all this stuff. Yes, he really wants to go back to the snow and go do some more snowboarding and go to an awesome Airbnb on the side of a mountain like we did. He wants to do all those things, but it meant so much to him. Like, he comes into the office, Daddy, today's one of the days, right? Today's supposed to be a day you're supposed to come. I'm like, yeah, buddy, it's on my calendar. I'll be out there in a little bit, So, and dedicating that time to just doing that, and just a half an hour, And today we built a fire. He just wanted to build a fire because, well, he's my son and he's a pyromaniac just like I was, right? So, but that meant so much to him. We were just in the backyard. We built a fire in the fire pit, and he just loved it, and it meant a lot. So that was one of my big takeaways from the Fan Abundance trip. I'd love to hear what A, any thoughts that you have on that, and B, what was one big takeaway you had leaving Fan Abundance?
I thought it was, very nice. Fan Abundance, I would say it was out of, I think, my family's element a little bit. So my wife was uncomfortable. She's just not interested in going to those. She would rather go to a concert and listen to music, right? Than go sit and listen to a speaker. Yeah. So she did pretty good. And my kids did pretty good. What I would say is, I think for anyone, it's a great experience if they have kids. There were a lot of things in there I'm thankful that I was already doing, that we were talking about. So my kids, I have them set goals quarterly. We go through those goals, make sure they're achieving those goals. We have weekly family meetings, sometimes bi-weekly family meetings, where we sit and we have open communication. We have a lot, family values, family core values, a lot of things. But if you don't have those things, man, this is a great roadmap to help you establish those things and the family togetherness of it. I feel like we were at a disadvantage in the events with the 4 kids against families with the 1 kid. So that was the biggest takeaway for me, being a competitor in all facets. I wanted to win, and we were at a big disadvantage with all the kids. So
3 of my kids fell up sick. Sorry, they're up in the room. They're not feeling well. It's just going to be the 3 of us. That's it.
Right. Yeah. Let me just keep my oldest, and then we're going to run through these events. But, I thought it was great. Especially for people with younger kids. I think that's a great event with someone with children 10 and under. I think it's great. And my 2 younger ones were definitely more engaged. My older ones, I think it would have been better if I would have been able to bring them to an event like that when they were younger. Yeah. I think they didn't connect and engage as much, being it was their first event of that style, and they're 14, 15, Yeah. So those were my takeaways, but I thought it was run very well. I thought the host did a great job. Really enjoyed Aaron, there. So I thought he did fantastic, and Jay did awesome with the music. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I enjoyed everything, but I did find myself a couple times when I'm there and my wife wanted to be in the spa and my kids want to go do something else instead of sit there. And, when it's a vacation for them, I'm like, if you don't want to sit here, you want to go do rock climbing, let's go do rock climbing. We'll skip this event and go later. So, maybe I should have planned it better where I had more time on top of that with the trip instead of it was just in for that and then right back out.